We're going to go back over how to put this thing back together. If you are just turning into this video, I would highly recommend you watch part 1 just to see what I'm actually doing here, because this is not like a normal tailgate. So what we'll do is we'll just work our way backwards. So first thing we're going to do is we can put the latches back in, and we've got these special pieces right here. And what we're going to do is one's going to go over here, and the other one's going to go there. Pretty simple as far as how these go in. There is only one way, and you can switch the sides, but what they will is it'll look like a bridge. If you have this facing down, they will just be looking, they will go down like that. So, slide our latches in. And what we'll do is we'll get the other side here. What I'm going to do is actually I'm going to throw a little bit of lube here on this. That way I know it won't rust. Just enough just to keep the moisture off. Like I said, this one's going to be going up to Connecticut, and we all know how they salt the roads up there. So if you really wanted to, you could put some double-sided tape on the back side of this. Unfortunately, I do not have any. So this is what we're having to do. You can if you want. But honestly, if you're going to be taking this thing apart to be changing out anything, you're probably going to have to take the faceplate of it off anyway. So that should be good and lubed up. Get that bolt in there. One thing that I should address whenever you are reassembling this, there'll be a piece of foam here and a piece of foam here, and I guess that was just to keep this thing in place from bouncing anywhere. Whenever you're putting the latch assembly back through, you probably will have to slide that in. I didn't want to cover that. Go ahead and put some on this side. I'm going to be putting it on pretty heavy here, just to make sure that no moisture gets in there at all. One thing, if you do decide to paint these, make sure that you run a tap back through these holes on this bracket, so that when you go to put your bolts back in, everything goes very nicely. It is a M8 by 1.0 tap, and again the bolts are 13 mil. Or I guess they're M8, but you'll need a 13 millimeter socket. So, grab your latch, slide it on through. There is a hole right here that you will have to slide through. And get those tight. One thing that I do want to say is that this latch here, the clip is on the bottom and this clip is on the top, and so naturally this connecting rod will be going almost kind of like straight, where this one will be kind of at an angle. Don't freak out, you're not doing anything wrong. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Kind of see how that one is really going up, and then this one is relatively straight. And I'm guessing let's see, handle location, it'll probably be right around here once you get your handle back in. So nothing to be afraid of. That is the correct way. We're going to get this side tightened down, and then we're going to connect our handle to these rods. However, we are not going to put the bolts in. That is definitely one thing that you do not want to do, given the fact that when you go to slide this faceplate on, this will have to be loose. Some people would probably put Loctite on the bolts. Can if you want. I would prefer to just kind of keep it lubricated. However, I will let that be up to you. I know that from the factory, they did have a little bit of Loctite on them. However, if you notice that it's getting loose, hey, just tighten it up. In case you got to get back in here one day, these parts will be a little bit older and probably a little bit more brittle. Put your handle back in. So, what you want to do is just kind of slide that in there, twist that around, again, slide that in, twist that around. So we got our latch connected, not bolted. Very important, like I said, when you go to put that faceplate back on, this will have to be loose. Next we're going to put back on our hinges, and what we'll do is we will lube the inside of these bad boys. Just to make sure that no moisture ever going to get to them. So if you missed it in the first video, I will read out that part number again for each one of the hinges, just in case you did not watch the first video. This right side hinge is going to be 15757890. Again, these hinges are not like the ones on the normal tailgate. Hopefully you guys can see that. They are a little bit different. They do not sell these aftermarket. I know I looked for a long time. I could not find anything. From the factory, these were probably double-sided taped here. Again, after 18 years of being on the road, the double-sided tape has disintegrated. If you wanted to, you could put the double-sided tape back on it. I didn't really feel the need. Just get it good and tight. You shouldn't have to worry about it again. This other side here. And we're doing this to keep the moisture out. I'm sure other people have other methods. Use motor oil, WD-40. WD-40 doesn't seem to last the longest. I try to stay away from WD-40. Seems to lose its touch quite quickly. Good for a quick little fix. But I know that with this grease, it's not going to go anywhere. So you shouldn't ever have to worry about the moisture getting in there. Salt, you know, what have you. Alright, so that more or less completes the internal hardware of putting everything back together. Next we're going to get this faceplate on, make sure this is loose, and you can see that we've got our two slide spots here, and then all of our hooks that are going to go on top. I would highly recommend you get a couple of pieces of cardboard to put over here, given the fact that that bottom lip, you don't want it to get it hung right here.